From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at Noon, streaming now.
And thanks for joining us here on the News at Noon. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen is standing by from home this midday. Todd, it is still cool out there, but that sun makes it feel like it's a lot warmer than it is.
Yeah, you know, especially compared to 24 hours ago, Lauren, when it was so damp and dreary. We had that drizzle, and you just really couldn't warm up because you were just constantly getting hit with that drizzle and that damn feeling. So today's definitely brighter. Still a little on the cool side. We're in the 50s and 60s at this hour all across the area. 59 in Columbus, 58 is the current temperature in Lafayette, 61 here in Indianapolis. And here's a live look from downtown to the north. And as expected, we're just going to build in a few of these fair weather cumulus clouds as we work our way throughout the afternoon hours. Not expecting any rain, but we'll kind of transition to a partly cloudy sky after what was a mostly sunny morning for us. As far as the temperatures, they really don't go up a whole lot more throughout the remainder of the day with those partly cloudy skies. We should get up to about 63, 64 in between hours here this afternoon. And then as soon as the sun sets, the clouds, they will clear out. It becomes mostly clear by 8 p.m. As soon as the skies clear, temperatures going back down into the 50s very quickly across the area. And this entire week is going to be below normal temperature-wise. We'll dive into it in more detail for you coming up in Maine weather in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, the latest COVID-19 numbers are out from the state health department, and they show a slight drop in new cases, though there is also a drop in the number of new tests reported. The state says there are 761 new cases of COVID-19 statewide today. There's also 20 additional COVID-related deaths reported. That's an increase from yesterday. Indiana's positivity rate is remaining unchanged. It's just over 4% for all tests and just under 7% for unique individuals. Well, that pandemic has claimed more downtown restaurants. Sam's Restaurants is closing its cafeteria located inside of the One America Tower, as well as Sam's Tavern inside of the Gibson Building at North Capitol and West Michigan Street. Owner Ed Sam posted on Twitter that revenues have almost completely evaporated, with most One America Tower tenants either closed or working from home. The cafeteria will close at the end of October. The tavern had been closed since the spring and it will not reopen. Sam owns 12 other restaurants around central Indiana, and he says they'll continue to work with Second Helpings to provide free meals to those who need them, as they have throughout the pandemic. Well, it's no secret that the pandemic has killed a number of restaurants and businesses around the city, state, and country. But for Crab 99 downtown, it's not the case. The Cajun seafood restaurant, formerly known as The Boiling, relaunched, and they moved into a larger space just 3 months before the pandemic derailed downtown life. Well, the manager of the restaurant says they've survived the pandemic mainly because of their loyal customers.
Last March, this COVID thing happened. Yes, our sales went slow, but I think we are one of the luckiest restaurants here in Indianapolis that we're still alive and kicking.
Mendez there says that though the coronavirus pandemics and the protests downtown, the business hasn't needed any financial help. He says that's thanks in part to a landlord who lowered their rent, but also due to their loyal customers who have literally kept their lights on. He's asking Hoosiers to do the same for other businesses to help save downtown Indy. Now to some stunning new developments in the police shooting case involving Breonna Taylor. This is down in Louisville. A member of the grand jury in the case says questions were left unanswered after no charges were filed in connection with Taylor's shooting death in March at the hands of Louisville police officers. The grand juror hired an attorney and accused Kentucky's attorney general of using the grand jury, quote, as a shield to deflect accountability and responsibility, end quote. A judge has now ordered the attorney general, Daniel Cameron, to release the recording of the grand jury proceedings no later than tomorrow.
The primary concern that our client has is if you watched the press conference after the reading of the indictment, the attorney general laid a lot of responsibility at the grand juror's feet. If you look at the statement that the attorney general's office released yesterday, they attempted to walk that back.
Well, the shooting death of Black EMT led to months of protests in Louisville and across the country. The state's attorney general says he will comply with the judge's order and release the grand jury recordings. New this midday, a former state lawmaker and congressional candidate faces federal campaign finance charges. Brent Waltz was arrested after an FBI raid at his condo in Greenwood. The U.S. Attorney's Office says that the charges are tied to illegal corporate donations to Waltz's campaign back in 2016 when he ran for the Republican nomination for the 9th District seat in the U.S. House. The indictment also says that a casino executive gave $80,000 from his company to a consultant for Waltz. Prosecutors say Waltz and the consultant then recruited straw donors to give money to Waltz's campaign, who were then reimbursed with the corporate money. The casino executive involved, Jack Keeler, was also charged as part of this federal indictment. Well, the first presidential debate is happening tonight. It's going to be held in Cleveland, and it follows a shakeup in the race for the White House after some new reports show just how much the president has been paying in federal taxes. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze is in Washington right now with the latest.
As President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden prepare to face off in the first debate, the New York Times reporting new details about the president's personal finances. Citing tax documents that have not been independently reviewed by ABC News, the newspaper saying the president earned $197 million from the hit show The Apprentice over the course of 16 years.
You're fired.
And hundreds of millions more from endorsement and licensing deals. But even with that cash windfall, the New York Times saying the president struggled to stay out of debt, racking up losses from investments like his golf courses and other properties. Those losses and questionable deductions allegedly driving down his tax bill, with the president paying just $750 in federal income taxes in 2016 and 2017. The president now claiming he was entitled to depreciation and tax credits after calling the Times report fake news.
It's totally fake news. Made up, fake.
President Trump's business record likely to be a topic on stage tonight during the first presidential debate in Cleveland. The 90-minute debate will also feature questions about the economy, COVID-19, and the Supreme Court. Trump eager to shift the conversation to the court as his nominee Amy Coney Barrett meets today with Senate Republicans on Capitol Hill. Biden prepared for the debate to get personal.
He's going to want to make it personal. He's going to want to get in the mosh pit. I'm going to talk about why I want to be president of the United States, what I'm going to do, and where he's failed.
The first question of tonight's debate will go to President Trump. The candidates won't be making any opening statements, and because of the pandemic, they also won't be shaking hands. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
Coverage of tonight's presidential debate begins at 8 p.m. with a special 2020 from ABC News, and then the debate itself begins at 9 o'clock tonight. Don't forget to stay tuned for the news at 11 right here on WRTV. Plus, we have your guide to the November general election. It's up right now on our website, WRTV.com. It includes all those important dates you need to know in order to make sure that your vote counts. It's all at WRTV.com/vote in 2020. Well, with gun violence at a record pace here in the city of Indianapolis, one group is stepping up to help victims' families. Coming up, the assistance they're offering as they work to reverse this deadly problem. Todd.
And Lauren, as we go through not only this afternoon, but the rest of this week, temperatures are going to be running below normal as we're getting a pretty good push of fall-like air here in the Midwest. We'll talk about where the temperatures are right now and where they're going in the coming days coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back. Metro Police are still investigating an overnight shooting that sent 2 people to the hospital. This all happened around 12:30 this morning near 16th and Kildare Avenue on the city's east side. Police tell us that a car was heading westbound on 16th Street when it was struck by gunfire. Officers say it's not clear who fired the shots, but it may have been a passing vehicle. That westbound car then crashed into a power pole. A man and a woman inside were hit with the gunfire, and at last check, they were both listed in serious condition. As the homicide rate here in Indy just continues to climb, relatives of gun violence victims are searching for people to help them cope. The group Purpose for My Pain in Indianapolis gives families a place to grieve with others in the same situation. Angel Hall tells us it's a group that she joined after her son was shot and killed back in 2016.
When these shootings occur, you are hurting a family. You're not just hurting that one person. You are impacting a whole family. Like when you kill that one person, you just killed the whole family.
So this group focuses on supporting other moms and family members who have been impacted by gun violence. That includes helping out with things like rent, utilities, and food assistance. And let's stay on that topic. Some areas where fresh food is hard to find are now getting some help. Next, we'll tell you about how one organization is trying to make sure that fewer families on the east side are going hungry during this pandemic. And let's take a live look outside right now over the Circle City here from our tower camera. A beautiful Tuesday out there, a fall-like day. Todd Clausen's going to stay tuned and fill us in on what we can expect for the afternoon and the rest of your work week. That's all coming up here on the News at Noon. Welcome back. So making ends meet can be tougher than ever due to the pandemic, and many people are already living in food deserts, and so the ability to put food on the table has become even more difficult through COVID-19. Our own Megan Sanctorum shows us an effort to make sure that families over on the Far East Side, one of the hardest hit areas, have access to food.
Community leaders say the need in this neighborhood continues to grow. Today, they're hoping to feed at least 160 families.
How many families?
One by one, they lined up. Boxes and bags all filled with food. And now going home with families in need.
I don't come to stuff like this unless I know that I need to.
Families like Jessica Ford's.
It's been rough because my fiance was working and he got laid off for a little bit.
This mother of two says she recently lost her benefits as well. And she worries every day about being able to put food on the table for her young boys.
Even with this going on, I still worry about that.
She says she canceled her cell phone service and is delaying car repairs. She's not alone. Lachey Smith says she came to get food for her mom. They're having issues with unemployment benefits.
She works for the school bus, so when she's not at work, she normally gets unemployment, but since the pandemic started, she hasn't been able to receive her money on time.
Smith is relying on services like this until she's able to find a new job herself, too.
I've been applying to a lot more jobs. Hopefully I get more interviews to where I can start working.
The John Bonner Neighborhood Center here on the east side provides food for those in need each week. But this week's distribution was a little different. They had 20,000 pounds to distribute, all thanks to donations from Big Green Indy and Conscious Alliance. Both organizations are supported by the Herbert Simon Family Foundation.
We hope that this helps folks to have some period of time where they have to spend less energy worrying about food.
Helping families like Jessica Ford's fill their pantry.
This helps out a lot. If they didn't do this, I don't know what all the families would do.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, WRTV.
Megan, thank you. Now, if you do need food assistance, you can always call 211 across the state of Indiana. If you live here in Marion County, the Community Compass app is also an option to help you. The app helps you find those local pantries, hot meal sites, and farmers markets where you can get food. All right, let's take a look at our forecast right now. It's Tuesday. Todd, it's feeling a lot more like fall out there, but today's a lot brighter than what we had on Monday.
Yeah, the sunshine makes a world of difference. We needed the rainfall. We got some yesterday. It wasn't nearly really the amount we needed. It was just kind of that pesky drizzle that lasted a long time, so it made the day kind of miserable, but it only added up to 800ths in the rain gauge, but that 800ths brings us up to 1200ths of an inch for the entire month. And that wasn't enough to take us out of the driest September on record for Indianapolis. And with no rain in the forecast today and only the chance of a stray shower in southern locations tomorrow, it looks like we will break that record, making 2020 the driest September ever for the city. But that rainfall yesterday did take us out of the driest month ever for this city. As far as the rest of today, we're building in some cloud cover, so it'll be partly to mostly cloudy from this point forward throughout the day, but we should remain dry. There's just a really, really small chance of a sprinkle here or there this afternoon, but nothing to worry about and nothing like yesterday. Temperatures range from 56 in the Orntown area, 62 in Bloomington, 59 in Columbus, as well as Connorsville, and 54 in Richmond. So you still have to bundle up a little bit, and you can see the clouds starting to fill in. We find ourselves just sandwiched between two systems, the cold front off to the east. That's where the bulk of the rainfall is. But we still have these northwesterly winds driving in the cooler air. and that's why our temperatures, aren't warming much, even with some sunshine here throughout the afternoon hours, but it's also making you feel a little bit cooler with the breeze. So highs today will go up a couple degrees from where they are right now. Low 60s in Logansport as well as Kokomo, Lafayette, about 64 degrees, 64 in Anderson as well. We'll slide to the south. Pair of 6s in Shelbyville today, 64 in Martinsville, and then temperatures to the south, right around 63 in Bloomington and 65 in Seymour. So it's a cool day, but a pleasant day. Any clouds that are out there should fade away very quickly with sunset this evening, which is right at 7:30. And then once that happens, temperatures will cool off into the 50s fairly quickly across the area. And then overnight tonight, going down to 45 degrees in the city. A little cooler in some of the outlying areas once again, so you'll need a jacket tomorrow. But tomorrow we do warm pretty quickly with lots of sunshine, and it's a little bit warmer as the winds switch direction just a little bit. So instead of low 60s today, tomorrow is our best bet to get to right around 70 degrees. But tomorrow's also the warmest day potentially for the remainder of the week. Thursday, we're back down to 63 degrees. Then Friday and Saturday, highs are only going to be in the mid to upper 50s across the area. And look at those low temperatures. Once we get to Saturday morning, 40 in the city, 30s in the outlying area. Could be our first frost of the season across much of central Indiana. As far as rain chances go, the next best chance will be some scattered showers, Lauren, working their way into the forecast on Sunday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, there is a lot of hype for the first presidential debate tonight here on WRTV. And while a lot of people will likely be watching, some may just be wondering how much the impact of the debate will have on the choices made by voters. Stephanie Liebergen with our partners at Newsy takes a closer look.
How much do presidential debates impact the election?
They don't change a lot of minds, at least not on the debate night itself. Sometimes the interpretation of the debate or the spin afterwards will push voters in a particular direction.
Decades ago, debate performances could make or break a candidate, but multiple experts told Newsy that's not as true today.
Of course, we've all seen these candidates on TV, all of us, as many times as we wanted to this year. We know what they're going to say. It's a bit of a stage show.
Another factor lessening the impact of debates is the deep political divide in the U.S.
Events aren't having as much of an effect. The economy isn't having as much of an effect as partisanship. And we need to keep in mind, too, it's not just love of your own party. It's in fact not that. It's loathing of the other party.
But that doesn't mean debates are a pointless campaign exercise.
If that debate can get people excited or interested in a particular candidate, we often see a spike in campaign donations. And those donations are critical for buying airtime or getting the message out to more people.
Stephanie Liebergen, Newsy, Miami.
And a reminder for you, we have Major League Baseball for you this afternoon right here on WRTV. It's the wild card round of baseball's playoffs coming up at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's game one of the best of three American League Series between the Houston Astros and the Minnesota Twins. Tomorrow will be the first game of the National League Series between the Miami Marlins and the Chicago Cubs. It's playoff baseball in the afternoon this week right here on WRTV. Looking forward to that. So when we come back here, it is time for our pet of the week, and it's going to be time to meet May. If you're an NSYNC fan, hopefully you got that little joke there. We'll show you how this sweet senior can be part of your family. Stick around. We'll see you on the other side of the break. It is Tuesday, and that means it's time for our pet of the week. And so today we want to introduce you to May. Indy Humane says that May is a gentle senior female dog looking for a calm home where she can just relax, enjoy the finer things in life. Me too, May. May is smart, she's food motivated, and would excel at treat-based training as a way to bond with her new family. Indy Humane says she's also deaf, so they can show you how to care for her and how to train a deaf animal. May's adoption fee is $160. If you'd like some more information or to set up an appointment to meet her, just go to indyhumane.org. Oh, and Todd, she's awfully cute. I love the little gray face. Gotta love those senior dogs.
Yeah, I know the feeling with the gray there, Lauren. So yeah, we're getting there. But she's a cutie. Let's get her a good home here in the near future. Here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. It's another dry stretch of weather for us, but also a cool stretch. Tomorrow's the warmest day at 70, and as we work our way towards Friday and Saturday, highs only in the upper 50s. But look at those overnight lows. Saturday morning in the 30s in many locations. Next best chance of rain. That does not arrive in the forecast until we get to Sunday afternoon. afternoon. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us and making WRTV your choice for news. We hope you have a great Tuesday afternoon.